Hi, everybody. Hi, guys. Hope you have all been well. You have been doing well. You have been hanging in there. And it's been quite long since we shared our truth telling stories. And guess what? We are back. It's your girl, Shamim and Jenny. And we are ready to rock you with another wonderful truth telling. And we are here with another very wonderful topic that we will like you to engage, be a part of it, to participate, give your comments, share it with your friends, with your families, and yeah, let us just have the vibe, feel the vibe in the room. It's about love, like love, 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 love. So let's hit to that.
There we go. Yeah, thank you. We have been away a while because don't know if you've noticed with our recent announcements and launches and stuff, but we've been really busy behind the scenes. And it turns out like one of the things that people quite often forget or don't speak about in terms of becoming an entrepreneur, like we're social entrepreneurs and what we're doing here with Trees for Birthdays is that when you're running, like when you're working for yourself, when it's like hard work, but it's the most rewarding work that you can do. But like you are every single role. Like we do like have to do everything. So in order to get things like ready for launching, like we just had to focus on the behind the scenes work. So apologies that we've been away for a little while, but we're back with our truth telling. And we honestly,
Goodbye,
yeah,
goodbye.
we're back and hopefully we'll be back for good. But if there's work that needs to be done, like that's our focus. We're just being honest here. It is Truth Telling Tuesday after all. But yeah, we're back and we're back with the truth telling on the theme and topic of love. And what a joyous conversation to have. So yeah, what you can expect from today's truth telling, we kind of it's been inspired by a post that we saw of Einstein talking about love, and his foresight into love is like unbelievable. It's like mind blowing. It inspired our truth telling today. We then go on to talk a little bit about how we define love, how love's value has been lost in today's society, and what we can do about it. And ultimately, we come to you with a call to action, and that is let's redefine the term love bomb. Let's make it Einstein's love bomb. The post that inspired today's truth telling shared letters from Einstein around the theme of love. And it was just so strong that rather than talking too much more about it, we're going to jump straight in and just read this post and take our conversation from there. I'll read it to you. It's beautiful. In the late 1980s, Lazaro, the daughter of the famous genius, donated 1,400 letters written by Einstein to the Hebrew University, with orders not to publish their contents until 2 decades after his death. This is one of them, for Lazaro Einstein. When I proposed the theory of relativity, very few understood me, and what I will reveal now to transmit to mankind will also collide with the misunderstanding and prejudice in the world. I ask you to guard the letters as long as necessary, years, decades, until society is advanced enough to accept what I will explain below. There is an extremely powerful force that, so far, science has not found a formal explanation to. It is a force that includes and governs all others. It is even behind any phenomenon operating in the universe and has not yet been identified by us. This universal force is love. When scientists looked for a unified theory of the universe, they forgot the most powerful unforeseen force. Love is light that enlightens those who give and receive it. Love is gravity because it makes some people feel attracted to others. Love is power because it multiplies the best we have and allows humanity not to be extinguished in their blind selfishness. Love unfolds and reveals. For love we live and die. Love is God and God is love. This force explains everything and gives meaning to life. This is the variable that we have ignored for too long. Maybe because we are afraid of love, because it is the only energy in the universe that man has not learned to drive at will. To give visibility to love, I made a simple substitution in my most famous equation. If, instead of E equals mc squared, we accept that the energy to heal the world can be obtained through love multiplied by the speed of light squared, we arrive at the conclusion that love is the most powerful force there is because it has no limits. After the failure of humanity and the use and control of the other forces of the universe that have turned against us, it is urgent that we nourish ourselves with another kind of energy. If we want our species to survive, if we are able to find meaning in life, if we want to save the world and every sentient being that inhabits it, love is the one and only answer. Perhaps we are not ready yet to make a bomb of love, a device powerful enough to entirely destroy the hate, selfishness, and greed that devastate the planet. However, each individual carries within them a small but powerful generator of love, whose energy is waiting to be released. When we learn to give and receive this universal energy, dear Lazaro, we will have affirmed that love conquers all, is able to transcend everything and anything, because love is the quintessence of life. I deeply regret not having been able to express what is in my heart, which has quietly beaten for you all my life. Maybe it's too late to apologize, but as time is relative, I need to tell you that I love you, and thanks to you, I have reached the ultimate answer. Your father, Albert Einstein. Oh my God, I have goosebumps just reading that. Isn't it just the most beautiful and powerful letter that has perhaps ever been written?
Yeah, in history, in history of mankind.
Absolutely. And do you know what I love so much about this? Like we spoke in our storytelling, truth telling about marrying art and science. And I personally feel so fortunate to be trained and experienced and come from that science background. But to be able to understand and appreciate the need for art and creativity within science is so important. And that marrying of art and science, but also here, like Einstein has not just married art and science, but spirituality in the most fundamental form, because, you know, we speak so much about change coming from within. And love is that force, it is that power, the element that will allow us to move forward and create a world for ourselves that is full of love. And when the world is full of love, then so yeah, we've shared the post in that beautiful letter that has inspired today's truth telling. Maybe we can start a little bit by unpacking some of what is in that letter and what really resonated with us both. Shamim, what in there really resonated with you, and where did you find the deep meaning and what was written by Einstein?
Um, for me, it basically, you know, I normally define love so differently. To me, love is power, and in the letter, I just had him talking about love being power and all that, and you know, comparing love to such things that do exist, that everybody really wants to possess. Everybody wants to possess power. If you have power, and then it will make you feel that compassion for others because you believe me as a powerful person, then I can't be able to help this other person who is down there because you got the power. But imagine if you're powerless, then it means you cannot help at all. And with this, I can relate it to like real life situation, or just like some movies that I have been watching. And it's really, there's this Korean series called Little Women. And Little Women is, it's all about these young three ladies that are raised by their mother and their drunkard father, and they have like a very rich auntie who is very rich, but she never helps and stuff like that. But they really want to stand out, but they cannot. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Yeah, they really, they cannot stand out because they do not have that power. They cannot, go out and tell people to do something because they do not have that power to do that. But it comes a time, like at the end of the series and everything, they have that power, and through that power they're able to love everybody, they're able to do everything they ever desired in their life. And that alone makes you feel like love is really power. And if you have love, you have power. And comparing love to gravity, like, it is so powerful. Looking at Sir Isaac Newton and the way he was delivering the gravity forces and everything, and comparing that to love is very, 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 very vital and very, very important, that I can be attracted to somebody, or somebody can be attracted to me. And that alone is it's powerful, and it's gravity, it's the force of gravity for of Sir Isaac Newton. So basically, it is just, having the power and owning the power and using it in a proper manner or in a proper way. Thank you.
Oh, I love that. And like a big part of yeah, like the problems that we face in the world, like the world in crisis, is because there is an imbalance of power and an imbalance of, we are so focused around money, that money is power. And actually, if we can change that, if love is power, then there's I don't want to say there's no destruction that we can do with it, because nobody can foresee the future, really. But actually, yeah, like love is beautiful and it highlights the good and it makes us feel good. And so yeah, that power element, like Einstein in the letter talks about, we've not yet been able to devise a love bomb. Do you know what? I don't think it is a device that we need to create. We don't need to understand fully the force of love, but we can create a love bomb, because all it takes is for each and every one of us to choose love over anything else, to prioritize love, to value love for what it gives us. It gives us so much more than anything material or any money can buy. And so yeah, I think a shift in that value from money is power to love is power. The only way we're going to create that love bomb is if we all choose love. um
Exactly.
yeah,
I
and
totally agree, 100%.
yeah, and I really love in the letter that he writes, making that simple substitution in his E=mc², like equation. I mean, that is such a beautiful insight. Like, I love that marriage. Maybe it's the science nerd in me. I just absolutely love that, we can just make a simple substitution in Einstein's most famous equation, and we come to the conclusion that love is the most powerful force because it has no limits. And I also really like what he touches upon, that like every other force that we have identified and understood through science, we have tried to take control of, and quite often there has been unintended consequences that have been detrimental to us as individuals and the ability for the planet that we call home, the planet that sustains us all, like we're damaging and destroying us and our planet. And ultimately, do you know, actually the thing that I love most is that he talks about saving our species. And like we've been talking about that for months. Absolutely. Like, you know, it was a term that actually came to me during COP26. I was being interviewed for a podcast, and the guys from the podcast, they asked us like, well, what is it then? I was like, oh, I haven't actually thought about that yet. I'll need to come back to you. And the following day, it came to us as part of what we were doing at COP26. I was like, it's saving our species. It is as simple as that. And ever since then have run with this, let's save our species. It's an SOS. So to see that like decades ago, like the most famous genius of our time, like I don't even know if he is of our time, but certainly there has been nobody that has surpassed the genius of Einstein since Einstein himself. For him to identify and share that and talk about saving our species, like I don't even think we knew back then quite what was coming towards us in terms of this climate emergency that we have created. So his foresight to see that, and also to say, save this, the world isn't ready for it now. Like save it until the world is. And again, I've got goosebumps because the world is ready. The world needs love more than ever before. Like we are in an emergency. And perhaps the love bomb that he speaks of, the love bomb that we say, it just comes from within, is what will save our world or save our species. The planet will survive regardless. So we've unpacked the letter just a little bit. Like there's so much more held within those words than we can discuss in a short-ish truth telling. But let's like move on a little bit and talk about well, how we define love, and maybe where there's some like how we've moved away from the true a true definition of love. Like we know that love has been devalued as a result of commodifying love in the same way that people have been devalued as we have become commodities. Everything that becomes a commodity in today's world gets devalued to its detriment, really. But yeah, before we talk about how love has lost its value in today's society, let's talk a little bit about how we define love. So it's a really difficult topic, but I'm going to throw it over to you, Shamim.
Yeah, thank you, Jenny. For me, as I had said earlier, it's I see love is when somebody asks me to define love, I'll say love is power, and that's it. Because once I have the power, then I'll be able to love people. But if you don't have that power, then you'll be miserable. And if you're miserable, it means you're not able to love people because you feel intimidated. You don't feel you know you don't have that sense of belonging, you know. But if you have the power, if everybody has that power, and then we have that sense of belonging and knowing that I belong here, I am here, and these are my people, and I have to love them. And that is exactly what love is. But sometimes I look at love and I'm like, love is a scam. I don't know, but it is just how the way how we feel, like the things we feel, and the way we believe in things, that alone drives out the meaning of the word love. You know, entirely just being there for people, or being there for others, and then at the end of the day nobody's there for you, but still it's love because you love the people and you enjoy helping people, you enjoy being around people, and that alone shows how powerful you are. And power does not mean that you have money or you own all these expensive things. No, power basically means you are able to bring things, you know, to the bigger picture. You're able to see things at a bigger picture and see try yonder and say, yes, I got this. And if you got that, then that is it's love. That is how I define love.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And do you know what I love there is that there's a saying that we hear, like I remember learning it as a child, and it kind of jarred with what society teaches us, but money can't buy you happiness. And yeah, love, okay, love won't buy you anything. Love is a two-way thing. And it's something that you give. And by giving love and feeling love, like it delivers happiness. It might not buy happiness, but it delivers happiness. And yeah, like myself personally have been on such a journey around understanding and feeling love. It was something that was really quite absent from my life, or it was I didn't feel the importance of it. In fact, like yeah, I actually viewed it as I don't know, something that would only bring hurt rather than the joys of love through the experiences that I had of love as a child. But as part of that journey, this is a book that I have shared before, and I will share it again now, because in this book, Bell Hooks, it's called All About Love. Um, in this book, there is a chapter about, it's called Clarity to Give Love Words, and talks about how we define love. And she comes to the conclusion, I'll read it here. I spent years searching for a meaningful definition of the word love, and was deeply relieved when I found one in psychiatrist M. Scott Peck's classic self-help book, The Road Less Traveled, first published in 1978. Echoing the work of Erich Fromm, he defines love as the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. And throughout the chapter, Bell Hooks then goes on to say that that is the definition of love that she has chosen. And so I'm just going to repeat that again, that love is the will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. And what I love about that definition is that it opens love for self-love. Self-love is so important. You spoke about that power of love. We're making leaps and bounds with trees for birthdays. And one of the things that had limited me in the past was that lack of self-love. I didn't have it. I didn't have respect for myself. I didn't have confidence in myself. And through finding love and learning how to love myself, like we are unstoppable. Like we've spoken about this so many times. And so again, like not only does it open itself to the definition and it bringing in self-love, but the love is so often portrayed as simply this thing between two people that decide to spend their life together, like typically become husband and wife. And we're so ingrained in that understanding, that definition of love being that relationship that is so important in life. Having your soulmate and the love that you can share and that relationship that you both nurture. She shows that love is so much more than that simple narrative. And so many people struggle in life and suffer emotionally and spiritually because, they are missing the love that is around them in the search for that one love. And I was guilty of that previously before this journey of love. So I absolutely love that definition being so open that it's not just like that soulmate relationship that everybody, like as part of human nature, desires and strives to find. But it opens up love to self-love, to the love between a parent and a child, within the family, love between friends, Like, yeah, love has been boxed into this one definition that is really troublesome for so many people and causes hurt rather than being able to really share the love. So yeah, I feel like your definition of it is power. Like, Einstein describes it as a force. Forces are power, like in one way, shape, or form. And so yes, love is power. But a definition of love such as this one, that I'm just going to read again because it is just so perfect of a definition. The will to extend oneself for the purpose of nurturing one's own or another's spiritual growth. Because the other part of that it's nurturing, it isn't an end destination, it's a journey the full way through. We have talked about how to define love or reimagine how we view love and define it. And so now we want to look a little and pick apart this feeling, this sense that we have discussed before, Shamim, that love has really been devalued in modern society. It has lost its importance and lost its value. And I hand over to you to start us on that conversation and exploration of how that's happened.
Love to the current society or the current generation, it has no value. It has no meaning. It's just a word, It's just a word like any other word. Like people just take it very easily, just saying I love you, or people take it for granted, and that alone makes it lose meaning. They say it, but they don't mean it, and that hurts. It hurts and it sucks. Why should you say it and you don't mean it? That is a very powerful word for you to use. And if you want to use that word, then you have to mean it. So, and basically, it is just, it's more of like we as humans, how we treat one another, how we bring it. We have turned it into a joke. Like, for instance, I can say, not even men alone, like everybody, I can just go around telling everybody, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, without even, even my conscience does not, it does not even take like there's something wrong with you. You cannot just go around and telling everybody you love them, you love them, you love them. No, there has to be something. There must be that deeper connection. If there isn't that deeper connection towards something, and love is not all about a relationship between a woman and a man or a girl and a boy. It's beyond that. I can't be in love with my pet. I can be in love with trees. That is love, because there's that deeper connection between me and that particular thing. But right now, here is the word. The world looks at love nowadays as something just normal. Like, it's just a normal thing. It's like business as usual, as we normally say, business as usual. And give these examples and how young women are suffering out there, how young men are suffering out there because of that word. I have witnessed a friend of a friend committing suicide because of that. It's just, you have been told you are loved and you believe that. And the bad thing with the human conscience, with the human spirit, the human soul, once that word is mentioned to you, like I love you feel, there's that thing that comes in, it tickles in, and you feel like, oh wow, they love me, and you have that in your mind. But once that thing is broken, then it leads you into depression, it leads you into intimidation, it leads you into so many things. You're like, where did I go wrong? Where did the rain start beating me that these people decided to not love me anymore? And in real sense, these people never loved you. They're just making fun of you. They're just making a joke out of the word. And speaking from experience personally, I have had like family issues with my dad and everything, and that alone, I have never experienced a fatherly love or a motherly love. I don't know how it looks like, but I'm okay with that. I'm good because, I love myself. It starts within me. And if I can love myself, then it means I am powerful. I can step on these grounds and say, yes, I am me and I'm out there. I don't need to get love from my father or from anybody else for me to be out there. It is just me. Sometimes it's good to assume like, I'm in this world all by myself. Imagine being in this world all by yourself. You're just in nature. So what do? You have to create connections. You have to find your strength. Where is your strength? And once you find your strength, you keep going. You keep going. And majority of the people believe that love is all about, these. It's all about wealth and all these expensive, luxurious things. That is not love. That is, sometimes I call it lust. It's not. It's totally different from love. People tend to confuse between love and lust. They're totally two different words that are making people to devalue the word love and devalue love itself into and putting it into a delusion where I feel I just stay and be like, oh, my father loves me because, he has taken me to college, he has paid my school fees, he has done this and this. That is not love. That is his responsibility. He has done that as a parent, as a father. But what has he offered you as their kid? What affection that when you look back and say, even if I lost him today, I'll be like, oh, I lost something very important. A part of me, there's that, it has been disconnected from me because we had that deeper connection. And and that is why I say, like, I normally tell people, it's like, don't tell me like your parents love you because they have taken you to a good school or because they have taken you somewhere. Just, think about it. What is the connection between you and your parents? What is the love between you and your parents? Or what is the love between you and your siblings? That alone creates that, that openness and value of the word love. And to some extent or to some point is that when it comes to relationships, that is where everything is messed up with the word love. Everything gets messed up there. Like, we young women and men, we just, we just devalued everything, and we have to sit down and say, oh, you know what, by the way, I love you, and yes, let's get started. And we get started, and after some time there is no love. Where is that I miss you messages? Where are those messages? Where did they go to? Where are those I love you messages? Why are we crying today? Why are we crying in marriages? Why are we not happy in marriages? Why are we not happy in relationships? It is because we our subconscious told us that we are loved, because we say that what you believe is what maketh you. And our subconscious tells us that we are loved. And once it tells us that we are loved, then we go in whole, like fully. We are in. I'm in 100% in. And then later, after 1 or 2 months, these people start showing their true colors. And we humans are very good at how do you call, being chameleons, changing colors. We are very good at hiding our habits at the first time, especially when it comes to the dating period and everything. People are very good at that, very good at hiding their real themselves. So that makes, feel like, and that is what even contributes to suicide. That is what contributes to people going into depression, because I know this person loved me from the beginning, but what happened? Where did I go wrong? What the hell happened? And then this thing of you meet somebody. And another giant that I see is a problem with social media. Social media is, it's a very it's one of the biggest problems that is really affecting love, because now so many people love their phones more than they love their kids. They love their phones more than they love their family members, more than they love anything. And sometimes on social media you get to meet people on social media, right? You get to interact with these people, you get to connect. And and as I had said earlier, that the human subconscious, once it connects and it tells you, like, my subconscious tells me somebody loves me, then that is it. I believe, I see, I choose. That is what I am. And when they break that connection, it really brings that, that questioning, the big question: what is happening? What is going on? What's wrong with me? And yeah, I think as time goes by, we'll be like discussing more and more about it, and sharing some more experiences from that. But to me, that is how I believe or see like love being devalued, and everything being seen as just a word like any other word, which is totally wrong.
Oh, do you know, truer words have never been spoken, Shamim. Like it really is like love is something that is felt, and we have been like taught this narrative of love, like once you find it, like that's it forever. Like, we sometimes forget that actually it's an ongoing, it's a journey, as we say. Like, it isn't a destination. We work at it and we nurture it. Like, we are so grateful for the love that is in our life, but we don't take it for granted and say, oh well, I have this love. And it's a feeling. And one of the things, like, I really hope that I'm right in feeling and saying that, like, even people when they say I love you, like, I hope that all the time it is in fact meant. And yeah, quite often, as you so rightly pointed out, like, love and lust are confused. But I would like to believe that, it's always spoken with truth. But as you say, once you have that truth, once I recently experienced finding love for the first time, last year. And it was such a beautiful sense of like security and safety. And I really like embraced and let that in, and you show your most vulnerable self because you feel safe, you trust that love has been promised to you. Um and it is a feeling, like, the when that was promised, like, oh, at no point did I ever think, oh, this might be taken away. Like, I had waited and was sure to make sure I felt that love before going forward and accepting it. um so I would like to believe that, when people speak about love, that it comes from a place of honesty and truth. But that we are, like, in so many ways in society, taught that, like, you've got to stick with something. Like, if your feelings change, then move on. Like, rather than work out why they've changed. Like, it's that commitment to love that's really been lost in the way that we live our lives. And like, a perfect example, I think, to kind of exemplify that, is when I lost love, the most common thing that was said to me was, get over it. Like, it'll take time, but get over it. Focus here, go somewhere new. And it's like, I'm really grateful in myself that I rejected that. And I was like, no, I'm going to sit with the feelings that I have. Like, I want to save myself the pain in the future. I want to understand, um, that feeling and how it was lost, and all sorts like this. Like, to me, the loss of value, the devaluing of love, comes from taking it for granted and being like, oh, well, it didn't work out there, so just move on. And because of that, we actually lose the beauty, and that, like, because we take it for granted, and it's difficult. Like, when love becomes difficult, it is one of the most painful experiences, and we shy away from pain rather than being honest to ourselves about those feelings. And but by shying away from it, like, I love to believe, and I want to believe that, no one is intentionally throwing love out there, to hurt people, or, you know, when it's spoken about, it's meant, but we have different definitions and are not always on the same page, and we don't have the same expectations of what that love will deliver, whether that is between a parent and a child, whether that is between soulmates, that being able to really understand what we each mean when we say I love you. And because it's so like painful to lose love, rather than deal with those feelings and be honest with those feelings and learn from those feelings, instead we kind of have this throwaway society. Do you know what like it is? It's that wasteful throwaway society. It's like, oh, move on, you'll find somebody else. And because of that, slowly we have eroded the value of love. And then, as you touched upon, social media comes into things, or these dating apps come into things, where suddenly like love has become a commodity. And once it's become a commodity, it's something that people want to sell, and it's no longer about the feeling, but it's about the monetary value. And so often we are always the victim of that, when we put the value in money rather than something so fundamentally important as love and our ability to feel love. Then it only has negative unintended consequences. Of course, there are people who have found love through dating apps, but the majority of the experience is that you know, it isn't that true connection, because you can't feel that true connection through a picture and through messaging. And I recently watched it's a brilliant documentary series on Netflix called History 101, and they talked about the history of dating apps. And there's some really shocking statistics, such as, and again, it's a two-way thing. Like it's not that guys are guilty and girls are innocent. Like we are all guilty in this. But there was a shocking statistic that like I can't remember exactly, but it was well over 50%. It was more like 70-80% of people on a date through a dating app would still be on the dating app looking for others. And it's like, well, if you're not committed in that first connection, then, you know, that's that devalue, and it's that wasteful society, that throwaway society that is damaging, you know, not just in terms of love, but, you know, in commodities and the materialistic things that we buy and throw away. And we actually value properly so little in life, and it's damaging. And you know, if we just showed love to the things that matter to us, like, and that can be material things. Like, you know, I got my van, and it's been such a brilliant thing to have like my van, and it gives freedom and stuff. I tell you, I love my van, and I look after it because I love it, and you know, I value what it gives me, so I care for it. And that's just a kind of silly version of love. But yeah, like as we have commoditized love, we've really devalued it in a damaging way. And so one of the things that we want to achieve through this love truth telling is that if we can just be honest with ourselves, that we, you know, as a society, this is what we have created. And, you know, Einstein, as we said at the start, Einstein's shown us that a love bomb is all that's needed to remove the greed and the disrespect and just, yeah, the negative traits that have become part of human society. They're not human nature. Like, as we devalue so many things, we move away from human nature, but human nature needs love. Like, there's a beautiful saying that you can go a week without food, a day without water, a minute without air, but you cannot go a second without love. And that's so true. Like, it is a vital human virtue. and value to have love. And so yeah, we really want to bring in this idea of a love. Let's make Einstein's love bomb happen. Let's give value to love again.
Yeah. So, Jenny, you talked about how dating apps have contributed a lot, because we're talking about social media and everything, how dating apps have contributed a lot to devaluing love and commoditizing love and everything. So it is time that we, because we are all about, changing the narrative of everything, how, like, changing the story, like, owning the story and bringing change. So what are some of the, like, how can we put back the value? How can we bring back the value towards love? How can we bring back that to the current society, given the society itself it's just it has accepted what is there. Everybody now lives with it, and people just people are just like, yes, we accept this, and we have to deal with it, we have to live with it. So how can we, redefine love in such a society? How can we make sure that the term or the word is redefined in a way that they will accept it just the way they have accepted the current situation?
I love that, Shamim, because you are so right that one of the biggest factors is that as a society, we are just accepting things. We're accepting the narratives that we're taught, accepting things that in our gut feeling, in our hearts, we know are wrong, but it's just the way the world is, so we accept it. And that's really what you and I, with everything that we're trying to do, as you say, it's about changing the narrative. And so the first part really is to change the narrative. Like, if we want to remedy the damage through this devaluing of love in modern society, the first thing is that, like, let's change the narrative. Let's look at how we define love. And I think something like Bell Hooks's chosen definition, that the will to nurture one's or another's spiritual growth, like, it's such an open definition. And like, and being all on the same page, I think so often we have like miscommunication, and that's where pain and hurt comes into it, because you know I say I love you, you say you love me, we think we mean the same thing, but if we're not clear on that definition and those expectations of love, then it will end in hurt and heartbreak. And yeah, like we kind of touched upon redefining words. Like we've launched the Climate Change Education Caravan, and a big part of that is, well, let's redefine what we mean by the term caravan, from this material thing to a journey together. And in a similar sense, I think Einstein's letter, when he talks about the love bomb, I mean, I had never heard of that term before the likes of dating apps. And suddenly there was all these new terms in our language, such as being ghosted or a catfish or being love bombed. And I can share that I was well and truly love bombed last year. And he came into my life and it was amazing. Like, met this soulmate, and oh, it was like the most beautiful feeling. And it was something that I actually had never experienced in life before. It was new to me. um and yeah, as you say, like, as he said, I love you, and said, I cannot wait to make you my wife. Like, that was a promise in a sense, and I trusted in that, and like never anticipated that something would change. So that beautiful sense of like safety, security, like connection, like such a special connection. Like, we talk about there being various different types of love, but that soulmate love is like, it's just a whole new level. Like, and I'm just grateful to have experienced it. And yeah, I would never have anticipated it, at the beginning, that a few months down the line his feelings would change, and actually it went from I love you, I can't wait to make you my wife, to, you know, actually not even having the courage to admit that his feelings had changed. There wasn't even that clear, like, look, this is over. Like, I don't have those feelings. Like, and it's difficult, you know, that we talk about compassion. Like, I can understand, like, I very much believe that when the words I love you were spoken, they were meant and they were felt. I felt it. So I know it was true. But when those feelings of love become difficult, like running away from them is not the answer, and only builds upon the pain. And yeah, like I think it's time to redefine love bombing, because as I say, I experienced that firsthand last year. And I'm not gonna lie, like when he decided that it wasn't for him anymore, like when that love ended, it was the most painful thing that I have ever experienced. Like, and I'm just grateful for sitting with those feelings and processing them, because do you know what? Like, I talked about this journey. Like, he taught me what it felt like to be loved. And through that, I was then able to apply that to myself and show myself love, which was something that I'd never been able to do before. And so I'm so grateful for those lessons that I learned through the pain, and have, you know, I was saying to you, Shameen, before we started recording this truth telling, last night I was treated to go and see the Banff Mountain Film Festival, and there was a film that, you know, it hit me in so many ways, and it was called Learning to Drown by professional snowboarder Jess Kimura. And she talks about, you know, the grief and the suffering and the loss of love that she experienced. And then at the end, as she's reflecting, she talks about not, you know, wouldn't change it for the world, because the pain taught her something and that she grew out of that pain. And that is what I relate so deeply to. Like, yes, it was the most painful experience of my life to lose love, but what I learned from that, and how I grew out of it, like I found myself, I learned what it feels like to love and to be loved. And I learned to love myself. And now I share that love. We share the love. And it is, as you said at the beginning, love is power. And oh my goodness, like what we are achieving by sharing love. And so, yeah, perhaps in response to what you were saying, like, what can we do about it? Let's all do that. Let's take Einstein's letter when he was saying about let's devise a love bomb. As we said, like it is not a device that we can create in the same way that we think of a bomb. Let's redefine that as well. Like, let's change the definition of love bombing to Einstein's idea of a love bomb, something that can distinguish the hatred, the pain, the greed within the world, and bring us a world that delivers happiness through love. What a wonderful conversation around love we've had, like so much to unpack. And you know what? We really should highlight that we could speak about love in this topic beyond the scope of a truth telling. But as we say, like our truth tellings are all about inspiring conversations, inspiring, like we really hope that you'll go away and think about some of the things that we've discussed today and share it with others. And you know, it's about starting those conversations for change. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed today's truth telling. But just before we go away, now I'm all for very much believing in yeah, like we don't believe in coincidence happen for a reason. And Shamim and I have been super busy today, like on Zoom pretty much all of today. And we took a short break between all the work with the Climate Change Education Caravan, and recording today's truth telling. And in that time, I just played a Spotify playlist, and this song or kind of spoken word by Adam Roa came on. And it just was so relevant. Like, we knew we were coming back to talk about love for today's truth telling. And for this song to come on, like, it was as if Mother Nature was telling us that there's a strong message in here to share. So this is Our Thoughts, the spoken word by Adam Roa. And I'm just going to make sure, yeah, I thought the volume was down. Here we go.
By the end of this video, I want you to know one thing. Our thoughts are the results of our beliefs. Let me repeat, our thoughts are the results of our beliefs. So whether they are joyful or angry or even full of grief, our thoughts are the results of our beliefs. So why are you thinking the things you are thinking? And why are you speaking the things you are speaking? The truth is, our thoughts keep creeping up from our subconscious until they are peeking out from the conscious mind from which we primarily operate. And this operational thinking, this modus operandi, will prevent us from being able to ascend higher unless we accept that we create our reality. The way we make our salary, the people we call friends, the places we call home, we create our reality. And if thoughts are things, then these thoughts that keep percolating wind up being the currency which we're circulating to buy the world which we're living in. So if you start to invest in yourself, it'll start to pay dividends. Change your beliefs. Whether they are greed or of kindness, now is the time to stop living mindless. It's never too late because there is no hopeless case. Because all it takes is a choice. So you can choose to take control of that voice in your head. So as you lay in your bed at the end of the night, when you reflect on that day of your life, ask yourself, why was I thinking the things I was thinking? And why was I speaking the things I was speaking? Start to hone in on what you believe. Because you can achieve the impossible when you believe in what is possible, when you have control of your thoughts. And our thoughts are the results of our beliefs, and our beliefs can be wherever we choose. So you got nothing to lose. Today is the day. There's no time to delay because the world is begging to hear your voice. And it starts with a choice. Choose love. Choose love. And when everything seems like it's falling apart and you're looking around but you don't know where to start, you can rise above with that one simple choice. Choose love. And when every choice that you choose is the most loving one, the world, life is so much fun. And whether you're an expert or you simply just begun, consider this day one. A new beginning, time for a new start. I might be speaking in rhyme, but I'm speaking from the heart because the world needs you. And all the thoughts you are thinking and words you are speaking. Because if you believe it, we can all achieve it. We can all live in peace. But it starts by understanding one thing. Our thoughts are the results of our beliefs.
Wow. Isn't that just like, wow.
Powerful.
I think it's such a lovely way to wrap up today's truth telling, talking about love, because we really started upon, well, what is love, and opening that definition to really include self-love. And we say that change starts from within. And I don't think we can add to what we've just seen there from Adam Roa, like choose love and understand,
Always.
you were talking about the power of love. Like, honestly, it begins within. Like, that self-love is what really helped me to be able to, understand that I have the power within me to choose, everything. It's how, that spiritual growth that came through choosing to love myself and learning to love myself. I mean, it's been so powerful. And so, we need that love bomb that we talk about, Einstein's love bomb. It needs to start with self-love, and then we can share the love. Because you know what? I wasn't capable of sharing love before I learned how to love myself. And so, let's see Einstein's love bomb a thing. Let's make Einstein's love bomb a thing. Understand and appreciate that it starts within. It starts with self-love. And once you can love yourself, you can change the world.
Yeah, let's choose love.
Okay, Okay, and that's a wrap.